Hey, over here. Welcome to the Ursapharm Innovation Lab. Nice that you've made it. Ursapharm invites you to take an unforgettable journey to the surface of the eye. Our assistant Lara, you see her on your right, has agreed to let us explore her eyes. We've no time to lose. Something magnificent awaits you. To get close enough to the eye, we first have to get smaller. Yes, you heard correctly. You are in the Ursapharm Eye Explorer. I hope you are sitting comfortably. Just lie back and let your autopilot take over the control. I'm already flying ahead of you. Reduction sequence initiated. You can look around in all directions, lean forward or sideways, but do not fall out of the seat. Everything went well. We are now only a few millimeters in size. Just take a look around and discover your environment. The structures around us are simple dust particles, so you see in what dimensions we're moving. In order to bridge the gigantic distance between us and our assistant, we will now accelerate to a speed of 1 meter per second. Hold on tight. There it is, the eye. Isn't it wonderful? That close up, we can now see the individual structures which are responsible for the formation of the tear and the tear film, the lacrimal gland, as well as the drainage of the tears via the lacrimal ducts. Our journey is, however, continuing to the rim of the eyelid and the tear film. If we look around, the giant-looking outlets of the meibomian glands appear, which are arranged at the posterior lid margin. These glands secrete a lipid-containing substance in the form of droplets onto the rim of the eyelid. As the eye closes and reopens, the lipids spread out over the watery tear film, therefore forming a protective layer against evaporation. Impressive, huh? Let us take a closer look at the composition of the tear film. But for that, we must get even smaller. What looks like an endless ocean is the tear film that covers the eye. Since our capsules are also waterproof, we can now dive into the tear film that is essentially made up of 3 interacting layers. From the outside in, these are the lipid layer, a thick aqueous layer, and the mucin layer. The mucin layer is in direct contact with the cornea and conjunctiva. The outermost layer in which we are now immersed is the 0.1 micrometer thick fat or lipid layer produced by the meibomian glands. It acts as an evaporation barrier for the aqueous component of the tear film. The lipid layer itself is also not homogeneous. While externally lipophilic wax esters and cholesterol dominate, the amphiphilic phospholipids increase towards the aqueous phase. Due to their increasing hydrophilicity, they act as an intermediary between the outer lipid layer and the aqueous layer, and thus favor the spread of the water-insoluble lipids on the aqueous layer. If you are now looking to the right or the left, you will see the already mentioned phospholipids with their characteristic lipophilic double tail and the hydrophilic head. It is easy to see how they are arranged at the boundary between the lipid and the aqueous layer, and thus promote the spread of the lipid layer. After diving through the lipid layer, we are in the aqueous phase. This is 100 times thicker than the lipid layer and is produced by the lacrimal glands and the rudimentary nictitans gland. The natural loss in tear film occurs via the lacrimal ducts, situated in the inner corner of the eyelid, and via evaporation. Only 2% of the aqueous layer is made up of nutrients such as sugars, electrolytes, and various enzymes of the immune defense. The rest is water and dissolved oxygen, and serves as the essential oxygen supply to the non-perfused cornea. As we move further through the aqueous layer towards the ocular surface, we find another component, the so-called mucin. The molecular blueprint of a mucin follows the pattern of a glycosylated protein backbone, which means that many partially branched polysaccharide chains are attached to a protein strand. The mucins are secreted from the conjunctival epithelial and goblet cells into the envelope of the conjunctival sac, also called the conjunctival fornix.
Hey guys, I need help with my Linux computer? Yeah, it's pretty much what you're expecting, okay? God damn. One of the first posts is, I'm daddy. I've always been sort of hyper... my community just can't get enough, alright? It's a little wild these days. You know, if it ain't looking like a cult, it's looking like some weird Tinder variant. Of course, you can see I'm trying to lick my Manscaped razor, and then I look at the community and I get a big old smile. Who's dropping the mad hard